who you wound up supporting in the election, presidential election?
None of your business.
None of my business?
None of your business.
I met a kid in Toronto who came up and was fascinated because I was like this star, and he wanted to talk to me, and he couldn't believe that he met me. Well, 10 or 15 years later, he came up and he said, "You don't remember when you met me?" I said, "No." His name is Drake.
Denzel and I were in a Joseph Pack production. I was the lead. Denzel was a stage prop.
In a world where political correctness and wokeness controls the Hollywood narrative, Denzel Washington isn't afraid to push back. This Hollywood legend speaks openly about race, politics, and the real issues we're facing, challenging the mainstream in a time when most actors stay silent out of fear of cancellation. With his no-nonsense take on life, family, and the media's influence, Denzel is about to reveal why we may have lost sight of what really matters.
Why is family so important to society?
The universal stems from the specific, so I'll talk about my family. You know, I have a God-fearing, loving, faithful wife who has taught me so much about family. I'm from a broken home. Seeing her consistency in really running the household while I'm out hunting, you know, and understanding the importance of family. And, you know, I protect her, I love her, and I provide for her. And my children are winners because of my wife. At 66, getting ready to be 67, having just buried my mother, I made a promise to her and to God to do, not just to do good the right way, but to honor my mother and my father by the way I live my life.
To Denzel, everything starts at home. He has seen how young people today are often raised without the family structure and guidance they need, which leads to confusion and chaos in their lives. He shares a powerful story about young people he's met in tough neighborhoods like Chicago.
Yeah. You know, I was in Chicago a couple of 3-4 weeks ago, and we saw these little kids on bikes with masks on the side of their head, like 5 or 6 of them. And the driver said, "Yeah, they're little yummies." I said, "Who?" He said, "Little yummies. Look up, Google Little Yummy." Little Yummy was an 11-year-old murderer.
Wow.
And you look at his picture, you'll see the headshot of him, and he's like this. And he got murdered at 11 by a 14-year-old.
Wow.
Who's doing life now, and a 16-year-old.
That makes no sense.
You blame the system? Where was his father? Yeah. It starts in the house. It starts in the home. And yeah, well, my father got locked up. Well, where was his father?
According to Denzel, the real solution isn't found in politics. It's found in the family. He believes that when the family unit is strong, communities are strong. And when communities are strong, society as a whole becomes resilient. Denzel doesn't just make vague statements. He shares his own personal journey, opening up about how his father's presence in his life shaped who he is today.
My mother was very aggressive and talkative. I think I got a lot of that from her. My father was a powerful, big guy, but really a gentle man. And he was a minister. I was never asked to go here and preach. I was told, you know. I grew up in a boys' club. Now it's called the Boys and Girls Club. In high school, I played football. I was a quarterback. I played baseball. I played football and basketball in college. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Biology wasn't for me, or chemistry. Then I moved into political science. Thought I'd become a lawyer. Then I started studying journalism. I think I was working my way toward the arts.
He recalls how his friends who didn't have that guidance often ended up on paths of struggle or even crime, while he took a different path. For Denzel, it's clear that his family's values and support were the cornerstones of his success. He wants everyone to understand this message. The road to success isn't paved by blaming the world. It starts by looking inward, by taking responsibility, and by building a solid foundation within one's own family. Denzel's message doesn't stop at family. He also takes a long, hard look at the current state of politics.
I think we as Americans better learn to unite. I think we as Americans need to put our elected officials' feet to the fire and demand that they work together, or they won't get back in office. You know, in this age we live in, this accelerated information age, we're getting further and further apart. We're not getting together, we're getting further and further and further apart. everybody can't be right. But I think this is an opportunity, actually. You see how people are being energized and protesting and all that. But I think this is an opportunity for us to look at ourselves as a country and say, are we together, really? And are we holding our elected officials accountable to making sure that they're working together? Not just, hey, you're on your side, I win what I win, you win what you win. Because this is what is happening.
In today's climate, we're constantly bombarded by a divisive US versus them mentality that permeates social media, the news, and even everyday conversations. Denzel sees this as a dead-end road. He's tired of seeing people point fingers and assign blame rather than work together. According to Denzel, society can't move forward if we're always fighting each other. Instead, he calls for unity and accountability, saying that we should not only hold our politicians to high standards, but also hold ourselves accountable to those same principles. He adds that real change isn't born from division. Instead, he believes that we must seek common ground. It's a simple but powerful message that often gets overlooked in today's world of sound bites and sensationalism. For Denzel, change doesn't happen when people divide themselves into groups and tear each other apart. It happens when they come together for the common good. This is Denzel's challenge to everyone watching. If you want to make a difference, find a way to unite rather than divide. But perhaps one of Denzel's most unique perspectives is his take on race and culture. In an era where conversations about race are often filled with tension, Denzel takes a different approach, one that's both refreshing and insightful. When he was asked whether only black directors should tell black stories, he flips the conversation.
Why did he need a black director? Could a white director not have?
It's not color, it's culture.
Explain the difference, because I think we're in a
Steven
space
Spielberg
right
did Schindler's List. Martin Scorsese did Goodfellas, right? Steven Spielberg could direct Goodfellas. Martin Scorsese probably could have done a good job with Schindler's List, but they're cultural differences. You know, I know, you know, we all know what it is when a hot comb hits your hair on a Sunday morning, what it smells like. That's a cultural difference, not just a color difference.
For Denzel, identity isn't just about race, it's about a shared cultural experience. He points to directors like Steven Spielberg and Martin Scorsese, explaining that they tell powerful stories about their own cultural experiences, even though they're not always about their specific racial or ethnic backgrounds. Denzel's message here goes beyond Hollywood. He's telling us that true understanding comes from cultural knowledge and respect, not just race. To him, race is one aspect of a person, but it's not the only thing that matters in storytelling or in life. What really counts is having the experience and respect to authentically portray a story. He encourages people to move beyond labels and stereotypes and look for what truly connects us.
You know, race relationships have to do with race relationships. You're white or whatever you are, I'm black or whatever I am. We're standing here talking now. That's how we get things done. You can't legislate love. The President of the United States can't legislate us into liking each other. We have to step forward and ask questions about each other and engage. There's no law that says, oh, because I'm president, you all got to get along now. So it's up to us.
Shared values, shared stories, and shared experiences. His words challenge the narrow lens through which we often view identity, urging us to see each other as complex, layered individuals rather than just categories or labels. Denzel's insights don't stop there. He's also a fierce critic of what he calls the victimhood mentality. Now, he's not saying that challenges and injustices don't exist. He acknowledges that discrimination and barriers are real, but he argues that constantly focusing on these challenges can trap people in a cycle of helplessness. Denzel's advice is to look at obstacles as things to be overcome, not excuses to hold us back.
I don't have to think about it. I've lived it. I've been the guy at the Oscars without my name being called. I've been the guy at the Oscars when my name is called. I've been the guy at the Oscars when everybody thought they was going to call my name and they didn't. So I've lived it.
So what would you say to the people who are looking at this process and saying it's unfair?
Yeah, and so what? You gonna give up? If you're looking for an excuse, you'll find one.
In race.
You can find it wherever you like. You can't live like that. You just do the best you can do.
Sharing his own story, he reflects on the struggles he faced in his career and life. Instead of letting these challenges define him, he worked harder, stayed focused, and remained resilient. For Denzel, success isn't a result of luck or privilege. It's a product of grit, determination, and an unyielding refusal to see himself as a victim. His message here is straightforward. If you want to succeed, change your mindset. Stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances and start seeing yourself as someone capable of greatness. One of Denzel's most powerful critiques, however, is reserved for the media. Today, people are inundated with information at every turn, and Denzel believes this constant flow of news is overwhelming and often misleading. To him, the media has become a tool that's used not to inform, but to influence.
People have to understand, are you using your device or is your device using you? Can you put it down? Can you turn it off?
You're talking about literally the places people get their information from.
I don't care what information, pick one. Phone, television, you know. It used to be news, now it's opinion news. Oh, glasses, we have 3 experts on the right, 3 on the left, let's discuss. Ooh, light bulbs, we have 3 experts on the right. That's not news, that's opinion news.
In Denzel's view, people are too quick to believe everything they see or hear without questioning its accuracy, and that's dangerous.
Turn it off. That's what I would say. It's hard for young people now because they're hooked. They're addicted. If you don't think you're addicted, and I'm talking about anyone, from the highest to the lowest, if you don't think you're addicted, then see if you can turn it off for a week. It's a tool, so we should use it. God has blessed us with free will. Now it's free will magnified, free will on steroids. You're free to go in any direction you want. It will allow you, and it's not the enemy. It's just a reflection of our own free will. And we all want to be liked. But now we want to be liked by 16 million. And will now some of us do anything to be liked. We used to do anything to be liked, but it was by the person in front of you. Now it's to be liked by 16 million people that you don't know. We have to ask ourselves, what is the long-term, if not the short-term effect of too much information?
He warns against the dangers of uncritically consuming media, advising everyone to filter what they see and hear. According to Denzel, if you let the media control your perspective, you're giving away your power. His solution: step back, think critically, and question what's being presented to you. Don't let the media define your reality. It's a wake-up call for anyone who's ever felt overwhelmed by the barrage of headlines, opinions, and facts that hit us every day. Denzel isn't just giving advice, he's lived it. He recalls his early years working in sanitation and as a UPS driver, saying that those were his real foundational experiences.
I was 20. I worked for I grew up in Mount Vernon, New York. I worked for the sanitation department. I was a garbage man.
You were a garbage truck?
I was a garbage man. I worked the back of the truck, 22 square blocks. That's hard. Doing movies, there's nothing that we do in the movies that's
what I was.
hard.
I used to deliver for United Parcel Service on a truck.
Right.
That was hard.
Yeah.
This is a joke.
Yeah.
For Denzel, true success isn't found in fame. It's built on dedication, resilience, and humility. He's seen how Hollywood is obsessed with fame and notoriety, but he sees things differently. To him, the real definition of success comes from within, from knowing who you are and staying grounded no matter how high you rise. His story serves as a powerful reminder. No matter how famous someone becomes, true character comes from staying humble and remembering your roots. In a world where many chase fame, Denzel reminds us that success without humility isn't true success at all. It's a perspective that's often missing in today's celebrity culture, where so much emphasis is placed on image over substance. Denzel delivers a powerful call for media literacy and critical thinking. He points out that we live in an age where feelings often overshadow facts, and he sees this as a major problem. According to him, society has become hypersensitive and people are too quick to take offense, which shuts down open conversation and progress. His advice is clear: stop letting emotions cloud your judgment. Look at the facts and let logic guide you.
If you don't read the newspaper, you're uninformed. If you do read it, you're misinformed.
So what do you do?
That's a great question. What is the long-term effect of too much information? One of the effects is the need to be first, not even to be true anymore. So what a responsibility you all have to tell the truth, not just to be first, but to tell the truth. We live in a society now where it's just first. Who cares? Get it out there. We don't care who it hurts. We don't care who we destroy. We don't care if it's true. Just say it, sell it. Anything you practice, you'll get good at, including BS.
Denzel's call for critical thinking is one that resonates deeply. He encourages viewers to go beyond surface-level reactions and think deeply, questioning what they're told instead of accepting it at face value. By focusing on facts rather than emotions, he believes people can foster more meaningful, productive conversations that lead to real change. His words are a reminder that, especially in today's world, we need to approach things with a clear mind and a willingness to engage in open, thoughtful dialogue. So what part of Denzel's message resonates most with you? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more woke insights from Hollywood's boldest voices.